Today is Friday, June 27th, and this is your forecast for the central United States. And we'd have a front that's moving through. Here's the thing about this front. Yeah, it is bringing some showers, but typically a cold front would bring cooler weather or less humid weather at the very least behind it. Neither one of those are necessarily true with this particular front. Let's get a look at that now here on the map. It's certainly very soupy out ahead of that front, and we're still dealing with that through much of the Midwest down into the deep south. But back here to the west, it's quite warm. So at least to start, this is a front that really kind of separates very humid air from just less humid air and also maybe not quite as hot air. It's really not much of a difference. But I think you'll notice over the weekend with the heat rebuilding for much of the middle of the country, there's not going to be much relief here. You'll see what I mean here in a moment. So let's take you through it now. 86 today with some showers and storms pushing through Michigan, including Grand Rapids, down through southern Michigan, eventually working toward Cleveland later in the day. Look at that, 92 still out ahead of that cold front, so still pretty hot. And then behind it, just by contrast, it's 76 degrees, so it's cooler. And that's not going to last very long. Temperature is going to warm right back up. 95 today in Cincinnati. So this is where the really hot and humid air. Remember that heat wave that we're talking about? Millions of Americans being impacted by extreme heat. This is that pocket of air that's still keeping the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the South very hot. So Detroit, you're 92 today. That cold front comes through, and then you're 85. But then you're up back around 90 and upper 80s Sunday and Monday. And then the humidity starts to climb. So the relief is short-lived, not much at all. In fact, even in Chicago, we could be up near 90 again back on Sunday. I think we'll actually get a bit of a more comfortable pattern as we head toward the 4th of July, which is on Friday, by the way, next Friday, a week from today. All right, let's move off to the southeast. We're in the 90s for Wilmington, Charlotte, near 90 in Charleston, 90 in Savannah, 91 for you in Atlanta, Georgia. Some showers and storms still along the Gulf Coast here, and then with that cold front approaching, some storms as we talked about over there toward Memphis. Temperatures are going to be in the low 90s for the next couple of days here in the southeast. Once that cold front clears the southeast, we'll look at highs in the 80s. It's not a huge change, but you'll feel it. You know, low 90s versus upper 80s, definitely a noticeable change. It's just going to take some time to get there. In South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, it's warm and humid this morning. There is a storm chance. Actually, it looks like inland areas we'll see those showers and storms popping up, and then actually they'll drift further inland as the afternoon goes on. So we'll look at clearing skies here in Fort Lauderdale and Miami for the evening. And temperatures pretty much staying in the upper 80s here through the weekend, maybe trending a little bit hotter here as we get closer to the 4th of July holiday. All right, that is your Friday morning weather update. I hope everyone has a terrific weekend. And remember that as long as you want there to be, there will always be a 100% chance of good things.